Hey there babies, how you doing today? Happy St. Patty's Day. I'm greening it out today. Now, for this video I decided to speak about something I just recently read. It was pretty cute, pretty enjoyable. It's a kind of slice of life and I guess normal everyday kind of thing comic about a classroom. Well, not even a classroom, it's really just about people. They focus mainly in one classroom and primarily on 3 girls in that classroom who end up becoming best friends somehow, who are very different from each other. Galko, who is a gal whose hairstyle ended up copying with the one bun and one ponytail here. She just really likes the fashion, the look of galism. Can I say that? Galism, is that a thing? Is that a word, a term? I don't know. And she's a real good kid otherwise though, and she gets along with just about everybody, which is a real cool personality trait of hers. It's real interesting. Just watch her interact and converse with everybody as she speaks to everybody like they're good friends, or she's pretty good at reading body language and stuff as well too. So she's just a real good social butterfly kind of person. It's not hard to see why she's actually popular. It's not just that she's good looking, that she's perfect. She's just pretty chill, and even the people who don't like her for whatever reason end up liking her, or in between, like they don't dislike her even if they don't like her. They just are like, meh, don't really know her, so I don't care one way or another. But if they get to interact with her, then they start liking her, which is really cool that they do in the manga. The manga is called Please Tell Me, Galko-Chan. So a lot of the questions typically end up having to do with her, like she's either being asked the question or she's a part of the questioning, and it got a lot of interesting things in there. But before I veer off anymore, the other 2 who are part of the 3 main primary focus is Otako. So that's Galko and Otako, and Otako is a very she's kind of antisocial, but not really. But I would call her an antisocial mess. Like she's shy. She just doesn't really care to interact with other people. Likes to read a lot and everything, very bookwormish and such, but she ended up becoming friends with Galko, which expanded her social circle a bit. So now, because she's close to a couple of people, she has people that she talks around and talks to a lot, but otherwise she clams up. And then the 3rd one, who's the most interesting just from the tone of the manga, because they seem to really like this character, is this super rich, ultra polite airhead whose nickname is Ojao? I'm gonna go with Ojao. I'm probably not pronouncing it right. Here's a list of their name if I didn't already put it up. Yeah, so I'm probably mispronouncing them and I'm not going to remember all their names, but there's just a bunch of fun questions in there that they focus on that's like normal everyday questions out of curiosity that young folks have, or just even some older people, and even some things that are a bit out there that you wouldn't even think to ask or didn't even occur to you, or that you would be afraid to ask about, like well, like this question here, and this question, and that question, along with the faces. Yeah, just the reaction to things. And then there are other questions that they have that are a bit more natural or even a bit more historic, like a question about if people have always been pretty particular with what they use to wipe themselves with after using the bathroom, and other questions about the body, such as this region for the females and even for the males, like that question. Oh man. But there's also other things that are going on in the story, not just the questions. The questions have to do with conversations that are happening and even sometimes events that occur, and it all works together pretty nicely, and there's like a undercurrent of a steady storyline going, that we're just seeing bits and pieces of other people's lives. Like I said, the other kids in the classroom are included from time to time, just bits and pieces, and then they even go outside of the classroom to other characters, like the one that I found most interesting is how they interconnect with each other. Like Galko, she has an older sister who she looks a lot alike, and they end up having the same style and everything because her older sister is also a gal, and she's even a model for a magazine. And her sister is best friends with another woman who is also a big sister, and she just so happens, as we later find out in the manga volumes, that she's the big sister of this young man who is Galko's classmate. He's one of her classmates, and they're even friends, and they've known each other for years, which has me sitting there wondering if they actually know about each other's siblings, if they've interacted enough. Like, do they know the other sibling? The other older sibling. And then a third one shows up who appeared before the male classmate's sibling showed up. She was pretty interesting. She works at a lingerie store, and her and Galko have a kind of friendly relationship as a employee and a consumer, because she helps her find bras that are more in her price range and also fit her better, because she's got a as you probably seen from the picture, a rack, a pretty huge rack. She's well endowed for her age, and apparently it's genetics, because her sister is pretty much the same size as her, and their mother is even bigger than they are. But back on topic, she has a younger sister who isn't in their class, but is actually a year below, and that little sister is actually dating the male classmate. His name is Charo. I'm going with Charo. Okay, so the male classmate's name is Charo. He actually has a crush on Galko, but he never told her until after he already started dating this one girl who is younger than him, and the girl who's younger than him is the younger sister of the sales lady, who ends up befriending the other two sisters who were already friends. Okay, so there, I think that managed to explain that adequate enough. And even though Charo's big sister and his girlfriend's big sister have met and know each other and talk about their respective siblings' relationship with whoever, it doesn't seem like they've yet figured out that their siblings are dating each other. So both of the older siblings don't seem to know yet that they have that in common, other than just being a big sister. And then we're going to bring a fourth older sibling into the group, because Otako, she actually has an older brother, and she's influenced into anime and manga and other type of genres thanks to him. And he ends up meeting Galko's big sister, but he doesn't really know who she is. And because she cosplays a lot, mostly for modeling, and also because of a kink her now ex-boyfriend has, he ends up thinking that she actually works as a shrine maiden, and then later thinks that she's also a high schooler, and thought that maybe she was in his sister's class, since his sister's best friend is a gal. But that's not it at all. She's a college student, just like he is. But she's giving him the runaround while he's trying to figure it out for some strange reason. And it's it has me like low-key rooting for them, because he, you know, he's interested in her and getting to know her, and he managed to cheer her up when she was really down, when they randomly bumped into each other again. But she seems like, not so much, even though she also seems to find him funny and probably a lot nicer than her last boyfriend was. Yeah, so there's that I'm really enjoying. Another little side thing I'm enjoying that doesn't really have any connections to those in that classroom, other than a really loose one, which is through a sports team at that school with one of the girls who are in that classroom, who play against the rivaling school's team. And that team has a character that's in there that we barely get to see so far. I only read the first 4, in case I haven't said that. That we barely get to see. She's team captain of that rivaling school team, and her little sister is in the classroom of this kid. This is sounding more convoluted the more I talk about it. her little sister is in the other classroom for, I think they're middle schoolers or maybe elementary. And it's a little interesting, cute story because in that girl's class, she has a best friend who's helping her out, and she's kind of like a ringleader, and she's a bit of a bully, which is not good, but she also has a crush on the boy that she picks on a bit, and he's kind of just called messy hair kid. So this messy hair kid, he's a cute kid. Honestly, if you throw some glasses on him and put a lightning bolt scar, he might look like how you think Harry Potter would look in anime. Probably. Pretty sure his eyes were green. A lot of the characters' eyes are typically either blue, green, or golden. Yeah, moving on. He appears a few times throughout the manga volumes. And it's pretty cute because usually he bumps into Galko again, who is the main protagonist. I mean, her name's in the title of the manga and also the anime adaptation, I'm sure. But she bumps into a couple of times. It's always while he's on his own and always while he's upset about something. And usually what he's upset about has to do with the girl who I just mentioned, who is the ringleader, kind of a bully. And she also seems like she might be a little miniature gal. But maybe she's just tan. I don't know. With a dye job. Anyway, she helps him out usually, like comforts him or talks to him a bit so that he feels better about things. And he also obviously develops a crush on her, at least a little bit, because she's really pretty, and you know, she's got a big pair of, you know, so ends up liking that. It's funny. Okay, but seriously though, they have a lot of interesting questions that are just fun to read through. And then there's side notes on the sides of the page, which I would suggest reading if you read the manga, because it clues you in on some things about the characters, or even on like some of the things that they're talking about, what it means or what it is, and also like their own thought processes, or to give you a better understanding of what they're talking about and how a certain character feels about it. And it also gives you the names of the characters that appear if they're not already said in there, or also as just a reminder of what their names are. Now, throughout the series, again, you got more interesting questions, like if glasses are becoming popular with gals, but really that can just erase that for, you know, any culture just becoming more popular as a fashion. And I would have to say, yes, they are. Now, there's also other questions about the appeal of glasses and everything else. And then also questions like this one, if people with glasses get together and they brag in a certain way, you know, just being smug about their glasses. And yeah, I could see that happening, and I'm pretty sure it does sometimes. But there's also, you know, a lot of jokes that happen about why they need their glasses. I actually do need glasses. This is not a fashion statement, despite what I said. It is enjoyable, and this even works with my cosplaying as a green-haired Galko, because as you can see, she also wears glasses and she looks good in them, of course. And then there are other questions that are asked, like this one I feel like is the best question I've seen so far. Very deep and well-meaning kind of question. And I would have to say, as you know, reading along with it, that really just depends. Like, it is possible to be able to understand and know other people better than you could know yourself. And there's some people who can know themselves well enough but still understand other people better. And then the other way, they know themselves really well but can understand other people but not as well as themselves. So it's really all a matter of the individual person and how good they are at introspection and an observation of other people, and keeping an open mind and getting to know others. So, you know, that's the thing. Alright, and let's see, what else? Well, there's quite a few other things. So let me just do a slideshow real quick of some of the other questions. Here you go. Alright, good. And let's see. Anything else I want to talk about? I would recommend you read this if you like the sort of slice of life comics and humor, and if you're, you know, curious about it. Like, I feel like this is targeted more towards like middle school to high school student. Some college students and adults can enjoy, of course, enjoy it. I enjoyed it, like I said. And it helps like reconnect you with the mindset of younger audiences, of what their mind frames could be about, the type of things that they could be curious about, wondering about, and also even remind you of the sort of things that you used to wonder about or were curious about, or maybe even never really got an answer to, or even might still be wondering about to this day. Okay, so I mean, I guess I could answer a couple of the questions. Like, for this question, yeah, I've spoken to some guys and they were concerned about those things, but at some point they get over it, and some of them they don't, or they're still self-conscious. This sort of question, yeah, I mean, personally, I do keep a lot of stuff in my purse. I've done that since middle school, ever since I first started carrying purses. I always like to have a bunch of things in there. It's always great to be prepared for things, and yeah, that's what extras are for. It's for backup. It's for being prepared, as I was just saying. And you know, if you got some friends in need, you know, it always feels good to be able to help them out because you're prepared for it. So why not let them use it? Why not let them have it or borrow it? That's what it's there for, because you know, you yourself, you don't currently need it, so it's all good, and you can restock up, put more things in your purse later. And the amount of things that are in there is all kinds of interesting things, from hygiene products to utensils to art utensils. So, you know, utensils as in to eat with, and art utensils in mediums, so paper. There's also probably going to be debris like trash in there, like candy wrappers, maybe even sandwich bags that were already used, or maybe they haven't been used yet, so that you can use them for some food that you might want to package up that you didn't get to finish eating, so that it doesn't get everywhere. Pens, markers, pencils, things to write on, maybe even a little booklet in there, planner, notebook, a little drawing sketch pad, those kind of things. Tissues, because you know, allergies or sinus problems, those sort of things, or even just to clean up messes with, like napkins in case there are spills, or when there's hand sanitizer. So there's a whole lot of things that can go in there. Snacks, also things for the hair, like Galko here in one scene, she actually, as you can see, she likes to come to school fully prepared. Like, she had a whole little mini salon in her bag where she was able to help this one kid who came in with a bed head to get his hair in order. She started, and she had a flat iron and comb, brush. She might have had a blow dryer, maybe, I don't know, did she? Definitely had a flat iron though. And she borrowed hair wax from another classmate of hers, and you know, it's good to be prepared. She ended up helping out this one student, and he was a guy who actually didn't care for her at first, but then after that he ended up liking her. Like, it wasn't that he disliked her, he just was meh about her, but then after that he ended up developing a crush on her, and all she did was, you know, help him out because of his bedhead that he was all self-conscious about, and everyone was making fun of him, to the point which he ended up getting a nickname about his bedhead, and he didn't have a nickname previously, apparently. So yeah, it's overall, it's pretty enjoyable, pretty nice. They have some erotic looking poses and stuff in there because fan service, of course. I mean, why not, since there's plenty busty figures and whatever in there, but it's more tasteful and also a lot of times misleading too, so that makes it fine in my book, and pretty easy to ignore for the most part too, especially if you know, it has something to do. Like one time, Galko was sticking her tongue out just like, ah, and whatever, looking all lewd and such, and it actually had to do with the question of the topic, which was, one was for being self-conscious about your mouth, and how it looks and how wide you have it open in front of people. Like, if you're more comfortable around a person, then you're fine with letting your mouth be all wide open or doing weird things or whatever because you're comfortable around them. But otherwise, if you're not, then you're very self-conscious about your mouth, covering it up probably a lot, moving your lips really small, like so that it's not moving normally and they can't see all your situation inside your mouth. Then another one about how the shape of the mouth being at, like, the shape of the mouth have to do with the genitals. Then other questions about, like, just self-conscious things. And then there was also her showing off her tongue because she had it really clean because she used something that her sister bought that was supposed to help get your tongue all nice and clean and fresh looking or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, so I would read the rest of this if my library pulled in some more books. I'm not sure if I'd watch it yet, cause I mean, it probably would be enjoyable to watch, but yeah. But that side story with the cute little kid, like, I find that interesting. Like, I'm like weirdly invested in his relationships with his peers because of how they went about showcasing it in the manga. Because now, because of them showing it the way they did with him, you know, getting lost and losing his money and being all upset and embarrassed with his mom because he got picked on by the girl who has a crush on him about it, and he doesn't know she has a crush on him, clearly, but you know, he gets cheered up by, you know, random high school Galko, and then later he's feeling like he's getting picked on by his family, and then he gets embarrassed, and so he runs off, and then he runs into her again because just so happens she's visiting her own family who are also in the country, and they bump into each other, and then she cheers him up again, and each time he always, like, ends up bumping into her or getting flashed some kind of way because of some accident that happened. Like, she ended up standing over an air vent or something that blew up her dress, and she was like hoping he hadn't seen anything, but he saw it and he's like, I'm gonna remember this for the rest of my life. And it made it even funnier because he was already thinking about how he was going to remember their interaction for the rest of his life, because they were talking about how when you grow up you forget things, and how, you know, his parents and whoever are lecturing him about things that they themselves most likely didn't enjoy getting lectured about, but have forgotten about it due to aging and it being so long ago. So now they're doing it themselves, repeating the cycle, and he's upset and not wanting to grow up. And so they talk about it some more, and he's like, okay, well, I'm gonna make sure that I never forget this, because he really enjoys his interactions with her, and she's, you know, she really gets through to him when she interacts with him and cheering him up. And then because the uplifting dress thing happens, he's definitely not gonna forget. So, you know, it's but cute and funny. It's all good. It's all good. This video has gone on long enough, I think. So, hope you guys liked my attempt at a gal cosplay of Galko. I gotta tell you, doing her bun was the hardest part, man. Definitely the hardest part. And she has so much hair. Oh my god, like, how do you even have that much hair to do this with? But low-key jelly. The other girl though, Otako, her hair, oh my god, her hair is just, it's odd to look at, and it just looks like it's a perpetual mess, but I think it's supposed to be naturally wavy. And her bangs, I don't know what's going on with it there, but her hair, I have not been so intrigued and confused by a character's hair like this and how it functions since I started reading Hellsing manga back when I first entered college / left high school, I think. Yeah, I think that was around when I first got into Hellsing. Yeah, it was Alucard's hair, man. I was like obsessing over its actual length. Apparently it always changes length. It can be as short as he wants it to as long as he wants it, and styled in any which manner. And I was kind of obsessing over how and which was the actual length. So I'm kind of having that same issue with her, only I know what the length is. I'm just trying to figure out how and why her hair is like this, and the few times she styles it a bit, why it looks the way it is. Like, does she just like the messy hair look? But third girl, Ojo, she's an elegant rich lady, an airhead, as I said. She really enjoys being with him, and the manga itself seems to have declared her its favorite, because even though it insults her by going on about how she's an airhead and not on the same wavelength as other people a lot of the time, it goes on about how, you know, her figure is perfect, her posture is perfect, she wears things that are perfectly tailored to her and all these other things, and how she doesn't break out into sweat, how she's super athletic, and just all these other things. She's just wonderful in all things despite her airheadedness, and how talented she is too, along with her intelligence, because she's very smart academically anyway. Yeah, so the three of them make really good friends. There was the brief drama where it went away from, you know, everything being chill and kind of mature and okie dokie to full-on cry fest, because they felt like they were losing their friend at the culture festival where Galko was supposed to do the cafe with them with their classroom, but ended up getting coerced into joining a different group for the culture festival instead of her classroom, which I thought was weird. Like, she was supposed to do both, like help them when she had the free time, but she ended up just primarily helping them, which was the drama club. And her two best friends were real upset about it, and yeah, it ended up getting resolved because the one guy who already has a girlfriend but still likes Galko ended up confessing to her, kinda, but it ended up being like not really a big deal, because I guess Galko felt like he was only doing that to get his point across to her, to make her snap out of it and make up with her friends, before it ended up blowing up out of proportion even more. And the thing about it is really weird. Like, he's really weird. Like, he was actually jealous for a moment, even though he already had a girlfriend, when he thought Galko had a boyfriend, and then was relieved when he found out she didn't. And I'm just sitting there like, why? You have a girlfriend. You shouldn't be focusing on this girl over here. If you wanted to be with her, you should have confessed and made your move or whatever. Like, him and several other boys have a crush on her, and there are three in particular who are friends with each other, who enjoy like doing things off to the side because of things they overheard her talking about, like making bread from scratch, kneading dough. A couple of them actually went and bought some to go practice with, because apparently it feels similar to her own breasts, which I found hilarious, and I could believe that there's some guys who would actually do that. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up now. So the characters are all interesting. I think my favorite character might be the scary girl. She's like super tall and has long messy hair, and she's into scary things, and I enjoy like reading anytime she joins in, because she has like such a deadpan expression, and she also looks like she's just tired of everything, but she likes to crack jokes though. So I can just imagine like how it sounds when she's teasing them. So if I end up watching it, I'll probably end up watching it because of her, just to hear what her voice sounds like and hear the delivery of the jokes that she makes or attempts to make, because I find them highly enjoyable. Okay, so that ends this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know, have you guys seen this anime or read the manga? Again, I haven't seen it, only just read it, and let me know what you think. Perhaps I convinced you to give it a look-see. I know I gave a lot of spoilers about it because I'm talking about it, but that's because this was supposed to be for the people who already know and have seen / watched it, okay? So, you know, spoilers. Alright, be sure to do all the things you know to do if you like this video, okay? If you enjoyed it, do all the stuffs, okay? Okay. So, until next time, I'll see you babies later. Bye.